Good morning, everybody. Hi, everybody. I toast to you. All you do, happy Equinox. Hope everybody's having a great day today. I know that it's been a minute since I was live. I didn't give any notification. I was up early with the Equinox and trying to get everything ready. Finally had a quiet moment, so now we're gonna try to get this out there. I wanted to take a minute, and it's so dark. I don't know if it's dark on everybody else's end. On my end, it just seems so dark. Let's see if I can get it worked out. All right, maybe that's better. Anyway, so today's the Equinox, Maboon or Mabon, depending on how you pronounce it. There's lots of other holidays that are celebrated right now. The shifting of the sun is such an important aspect of pagan holidays. And I think that sometimes it gets overlooked because we talk a lot about the moon and about how amazing the moon is and tracking the moon and following the moon and the moon's phases. But sometimes we forget to talk about the sun phases, and it's so important. The sun is, it's what brightens our day. It's what is the transition through the seasons. And a fun activity that can really help you see the transition of the sun is tracking it throughout the year. And this can be done simply by just looking at where the sun is as it rises in the morning, and then, or you can be really elaborate and you get like a piece of rebar or a stick or something that you can set in the ground, and then it will, and then you mark it around with stones or other sticks or whatever, and you can make a little sun wheel, a sun dial kind of per se for the year. And this is what the ancient sun sites in Australia are like this, and the Native Americans have lots of sun wheels, and this is something that's been tracked for so long. Even, like the great temples and pyramids and things in Mesoamerica and South America and just all around the world, we see structures and big things that are built to the sun. And so that's just one way that our ancestors did it. And so now we can create little things in our yard that we can use to see that transition, because as the year goes, the sun moves from north to south in the sky, and so that's what causes our season changes and warm or cold and all of that kind of stuff. And then it also just affects the energy of the sun. So right now we're at an equinox, so the sun is lined up perfectly with the earth. We're feeling very imbalanced with the earth, or you might not be feeling in balance at all with the earth because it's you're just not feeling in balance with the season and whatnot. So you're probably going to feel that if you're not feeling that balance right now. There are some great things that you can do to really connect with this balanced energy. You can just simply go out and meditate outside. Today is a great day to do that. I would recommend doing a standing meditation with your arms out, comfortable, but it's just standing and feeling the balance of the earth. We talked about it on the spring equinox because we're doing a lot of egg stuff, but when, spinning the eggs and setting the eggs on the end, you can do that today also. And they say that if you can get the egg to stand up on its skinny points so that it's standing up and down, you'll have good luck throughout the year. I can only do it if I'm spinning the egg, but it's a lot of fun to try to get everybody together to try to spin eggs and get them to, without a wobble. And today's a good day for that. Just the balance and the gravity of the earth and all that stuff is going to help with that. So that's a lot of fun. Cornucopias are a big part of this holiday. Selena Fox has a really great in-depth talk on the cornucopia and the history of the cornucopia. If you're interested in learning more about that, I would definitely go check out Selena Fox's podcast. I just finished listening to it 2 days ago, and it was great. But the cornucopia is that horn of plenty. Mythology there's the story of Zeus and how he was nurtured by the goddess, the goat goddess, and that he broke off one of her horns, and from it plenty came, and it's always full. So that's what we talk about with the cornucopia, is the symbol of always having plenty, always being able to have what you need, and to be able to share that with other people. So as we fill our cornucopias this holiday on today and we feast from it, that's another part. So when you fill your cornucopia with your favorite foods or foods that you've gathered in the garden or anything like that, um, you don't just leave them in the cornucopia. Later you want to eat them. Put them in your dinner, eat them for dessert, enjoy them, honor that food by honoring it, by eating it. And that's what it's meant to do. So you're putting that energy to work. And so when you fill your cornucopia and we honor that energy and we are giving thanks for the prosperity that we have received and giving back and just sharing in that energy. This is a great time to donate to food banks, to go out and give to the community and to share in what you have with others as a sign of, the great circle. It's not just a circle of life, but it's a circle of energy, and what you give, you receive, and what you receive, you give, and you just go in that circle to help that energy stay flowing. And it'll help you find balance in your own self and your own practice. And then, so another big part of the holiday, which is actually one of my favorite parts of the holiday, is making corn dollies. Or grain idols, depending on where you are around the world. Now, some of these I've seen wheat grain idols that are so elaborately done. I mean, they're amazing. They're breathtaking. It's absolute art. And then you have more simple ones like the ones that we make that are not crazy woven wheat. And as you're making these, a lot of people tell me, they're like, well, I don't know how to make a corn dolly and I can never make a perfect one. And that's not the point. The point of the corn dolly is to take the grains that we value so much, that have helped change our cultures and our societies, from hunter and gatherers to modern farmers, and then now into our technological evolution. But that all kind of started and turned and churned and began when we started with these grains. And so we honor those by making the grain idol and by bringing her into our home, or him, it doesn't have to be a girl, and honoring that. And you put it in a place of honor. And so I have a couple examples of ones that we made. So we picked a bunch of pumpkins this year from the garden. So some of our grain idols actually have pumpkin heads. It reminded me of the original Alice in Wonderland and the flowers. But so they're pretty simple. We just take the corn stalks, you fold one in half, you have one for the legs, you tie them around, you add arms and a face. I have another one here, and we're drying her to hold stuff in her arms. She's going to hold a feather. And so this one, I just, you fold it in half, you create the arms, you tie it, and it's just the stalks from the corn. It's pretty simple. We don't do anything really elaborate, and we use corn that's local to our area. So if you have wheat that grows in your area, or corn or barley or hops or whatever is the grain that's grown in your area, those are always great to use. Or if you eat a lot of corn, use corn. Whatever you have available to you, because that's what your ancestors would have done. They wouldn't have trekked thousands of miles for some corn when that wasn't part of their normal life. This is honoring the things that we have every day in our life and showing our gratitude to them. So we have the corn dolly, and she'll sit on my altar that's right next to my stove as a kitchen grain idol. It just seems super appropriate, but you put it somewhere that's good for you. And you keep them all throughout the year. I make offerings to them. If I'm cooking something and I'm like, oh, I think that the grain idol would really like this, I'll put it there. Dried beans, different things of that nature, just kind of gather there. I always end up putting a couple pieces of chocolate there with her, and it just kind of collects. And then once it gets full, I'll clean it out and start over again, and just continue to honor that grain idol throughout the year. And then come next year, we'll take this year's corn dollies and we'll burn them in next year's fire. And it's just, releasing that energy and welcoming new energy. And a lot of the harvest energy has to do with that. And that's one of the other things that we're really honoring. So with the corn dolly and the cornucopia and the feasting and the giving thanks and all of that, we are honoring that harvest. And now in our modern times, I see a lot of challenge in connecting with that energy. It's hard to really honor something that we don't have to work so hard for anymore. But you have to keep in mind that, 100 years ago, 200 years ago, 1,000 years ago, food was not as prosperous as it is now, and it was not as easy as going to the grocery store, and it took a lot of work to get the food from the seed to the farm to the table, and that's really the energy that we're honoring. And so as you honor that now, not only do you honor the food that you have present available to you at this moment, that we are so blessed to be able to go to the grocery store and just have whatever it is that we want pretty much right there, but you're giving thanks for the years and ancestors, years and years and years of ancestors and generations and all of that who worked so hard to make this modern day present and available. So as you feast today and you give offerings and you make your corn dollars and you do all of these different things, just keep in mind that not only are you honoring the farmers and the harvest and the people who are working so hard today, but you're honoring our ancestors and you're honoring those generations of people who have worked and worked and worked and worked to give us such an easy life, to give us a life where we are not digging with sticks and stones and you know, having to go out and hunt for our meals and all of these things that our ancestors had to do. That's what we're giving thanks for. So as you sit down with this day, give that thanks, feel that gratitude, be thankful for all of the things that you have, even if you're in a place where you're struggling or, you know, you might not have all of the things that you absolutely need. You know, by giving the gratitude for what you do have, you can help spread that energy and it'll come back around and then you'll be in a better place next year. So you just have to give that thanks and honor this earth's energy. So I hope that everybody is having a fantastic day. I hope that you make some super cute, you know, grain idols. We would love for you to share yours and show us what yours look like. Once I get all mine set up, I'll take a picture because we got a whole family because my kids make them and I make them. And so set up your altars, fill your cornucopias, give thanks and gratitude, and share with the community in some way, whatever it may be. Just share and give thanks. So I hope that everybody is having a blessed Maboon and a happy harvest and a good equinox, and that you have just a great day. And if you have any questions, just let us know. Don't forget to check out the podcast and all of the other stuff. There's so much growing on all over the place. So click, and check everything out. And we hope that you all have a great and happy equinox. Many blessings to you.